Now, we're not here just to wave signs and shout today. We're here to actually learn how to do something. It is our objective today that when you walk out of here, you will have a homework assignment to do starting Monday morning to influence legislation. So with that in mind, I'm going to bring next to the podium Bobbie Ross, who's a lawyer on the behalf of Calguns. Bobbie?
Good afternoon. So I think most, if not all of us, are familiar with the story of David and Goliath. David was just a youth with a slingshot, and he defeated a giant and a veteran warrior known as Goliath. And I think that story is a great parallel for the situation that the California Second Amendment community is in right now. We are up against a lot this year. I think collectively we could kind of call ourselves the Israelites, and we are up against one hell of a Goliath. I mean, we're talking about a behemoth of federal and California legislation that is threatening to strip away our Second Amendment rights. Thankfully, however, we have organizations like the Calguns Foundation, Second Amendment Foundation, the Firearms Policy Coalition that are leading us in this fight. These organizations and the people like you who support them and work with them are essentially our David. In the biblical story, the Philistine army pretty much had the Israelites on the ropes, and that's kind of the situation that we're in right now. They were emboldened by Goliath, who was dude was 9 feet tall. He was massive. And the Israelites were completely scared, the way a lot of California gun owners right now are scared. And with good reason, because let me just give you an overview of some of the legislation that we're facing. Federally, there's S-150, which is Senator Feinstein's far-reaching ban that would treat semi-automatic weapons like machine guns, require fingerprinting, a database, and a host of other things. And of course, there's S-150's twin, which is H.R. 437, and that's basically the House version, brought to us by Senator McCarthy, everyone's favorite, shoulder thing that goes up. Representative. There's also H.R. 138, which seeks to ban magazines that are over 10 rounds. H.R. 117, which would require mandatory licensing and registration of handguns. And these are just a few examples of there are over 50 federal bills that we're looking at. And that's not even getting to California, which, man. I'm just gonna run through quickly a few of the bills that we're up against. There's SB 47, which would ban semi-automatic centerfire rifles and forced registration. AB 48, which is a magazine ban and would require face-to-face ammunition purchases only from firearms dealers. There's SB 53, which would require annual Department of Justice background checks. SB 140, which essentially will be a legislative theft of approximately $16 million in dealer record of sales fees that would fund expansion of the California Department of Justice bureaucracy. AB 169 removes the private party transfer exemption for non-rostered handguns. AB 174 removes the grandfather clauses and would force the loss of property or confiscation of firearms legally owned. AB 187 adds a per-round ammo tax. AB 231 would require all gun owners to buy annual insurance policies. Yes, boo. SB 374, an outright ban on all semi-automatic rifles, including 22 LR rimfire. It would also have forced registration. SB 396, it's an outright retroactive ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, including those of the 1030 style. AB 500, which will let the Department of Justice deny your Second Amendment rights through delays and essentially take a guilty until proven innocent approach. AB 760, which will be a nickel per round tax on ammunition sold by firearms dealers. I mean, the list goes on and on. There are over 40 bills that have been introduced by the California legislature. Thankfully, yesterday was the deadline for new bills, so they can't bring out anything else, but we have a lot to face. And it's insane what we're up against. I mean, these bills are a threat to our rights, the way Goliath was a major threat to the Israelites. But like I said, thankfully we have organizations like Calguns Foundation, Second Amendment Foundation, and the Firearms Policy Coalition who are volunteering to go to the front lines and take on these monstrosities of legislation. Calguns Foundation and Second Amendment Foundation are leading the fight. There are several lawsuits going on that will eventually bring down this legislation and other horrible gun control laws and restore our rights to where they're supposed to be. There's Sylvester v. Harris, which is a challenge to the California waiting period when you buy a firearm is unconstitutional. Teixeira v. Alameda, challenging a ban on firearms dealers and ridiculous regulations like not allowing them within 500 feet of a school as unconstitutional. And along with Second Amendment Foundation, Calguns Foundation will make California shall issue by the end of June 2014. I know that's something that's extremely important to all of us because we should be able to defend ourselves wherever we are, whenever the need arises. There are cases like Moore v. Madigan, Kachowski v. Kakache, and Richards v. Prito, which are challenging the good moral character and good cause provisions that sheriffs and other issuing authorities so abuse. And speaking of sheriffs, there's also Lou v. Sheriff Baca, which is a lawsuit to make Sheriff Baca stop the cronyism and follow the law like everyone else. And on the theme of licensing to carry, there's also the Calguns Carry License and Sunshine Initiative, which is essentially trying to get all issuing authorities throughout the state to actually follow the law and issue to people who are law-abiding and have our good cause should be the Second Amendment, period. Personal protection, that's all you should need in order to exercise your Second Amendment rights. And since we're in Ventura, I have to mention Calguns Foundation v. Ventura, which is a case that in 2010 made the Ventura Sheriff provide information so that we could continue to help everyone throughout the state and in Ventura County get licenses to carry, and also forced him to comply with the law. Trust that in the event that any of these horrible bills or any of the ones that weren't mentioned pass, that Calguns Foundation will file federal lawsuits to stop this unconstitutional legislation. And I know there's been talk of the city of LA passing an outright large capacity magazine ban. And if that happens, we will sue in federal court. There are also some upcoming lawsuits, just so you know, to stop the TROS delays and a future assault weapons challenge. It's time for the Supreme Court to end these bans on common semi-automatic sport utility and self-defense rifles. So you see, yes, okay, things look bleak, and we're up against what appears to be a behemoth, a towering Goliath. But we have these organizations on the front lines. We have our David, and eventually we will claim victory, just as the Israelites did. Thank you.